it's time for the demo. And the good news is I just saw this paper yesterday that was published, and they had data from Finland. Yeah, so we are going to look at these two scenarios from that published data in the tool, which is amazing. So let's look at this. The first scenario is that there is a farm that they have 8 farms, and we are going to use the farm number 1 to do this. And you can see that the scenario 1 is farm-led with both synthetic and organic fertilizers. And in this case, they don't recycle anything back to the farm. And scenario 2, they use just organic sources of fertilizers, and they actually make an effort to recycle the waste back onto the farm. Yeah, so let's jump onto the platform now and see what the platform is going to produce for us. Everyone ready? When you come into the platform, this is what the platform look like. This is what you're going to see as the interface. And then here you see the planning tool here, as we mentioned in the presentation. And then you also see the calculators and then the dashboard. And once you finish with the planning tool, every data that you need in, and you hit on submit, it will give you the opportunity to review. Once you review, it brings you to the dashboard direct. This year will give you the subscription tiers that you can go in and subscribe to the one that you want. You have the opportunity to have free versions to try the tool first, and then see how it fits into what you're doing, and then move forward with the one that is payment based. So just to give you a little bit, it gives you the principles here, as you see, 4 key principles: environmental impact, resource use efficiency, waste management, and economic viability. And it tells you the practices that falls under each one of the principles as well. And then the 3-tier score, as I explained in the planner, you have remember the CHI score, which tells you the level of implementation, the boundaries of implementation. And also, depending on all the information you give, it also gives you a total score, which is the total impact of your farm. And then the CHI give you the environmental and then the social impact, potential impact of that. This I already spoke about these things. What is very important to us also is this feedback as you go and use the tool. Please, that's why we are giving that discount for you to subscribe and use it and be part of the community as well as first users, investing your time and energy into it. Yeah, so give your feedback here so we can use it to improve upon the tool the way you want to see it, and that is how we can make this a transformational platform for all of us globally. Yeah, so let's, with the scenarios that I showed you, let's click on the planning tool and see what it gives us. Good thing with the tool is also that whenever you leave, you can come back to resume here, but in this case, we're just taking it out. We'll share also videos on how to fill out the form and all of that, right? So I'll just go into the dashboard. The calculator is also here. When you click on the calculator, so you see the planner is here. You go through, you fill the form under each one of the principles here. And then once you're done, you go to the circularity calculator, you go to the carbon sequestration, and then you go to the soil health. I'll not spend so much time on this. We are going to be organizing trainings on this, very frequent trainings, and feel free to reach out if you need more training also, so we can walk you through. So let's go to the dashboard and see what we have for the 2 scenarios that we talked about. So once you finish the assessment, it brings you here, and here you can see all your farms that are listed here. If you're a consultant, all your customers will be listed here. If you're a crop advisor, all your customers will be listed here. If you're anyone working with different stakeholders, all of them, their information will be listed here. And you can watch them as individual farms. As we see here, this is the information, the Jana Ita from the Finland farm number 1, mixed farming model that we're going to use here. So once we click on it, it's giving us that specific farm information here. And these are the two scenarios. Here we'll click here, we'll see the scenario number 1 is this, and then the scenario number 2 is here. And then we can also look at it from yearly averages point of view. And then we can also look at the compare function, compare two scenarios. So we can compare those two here. So when I select the scenario number 1, scenario number 2, there we go. So you can see here is comparing the cars. And the most interesting part is that you see is saying that the scenario number 1 is a regenerative agriculture farm. And as we remember, that farm has both mixed, synthetic and organic fertilizers, but they are not doing any recycling on that farm. The scenario number 1, all right? That scenario, they didn't do any recycling. Scenario number 2 now, it was mostly organic sources of fertilizers, and they were recycling the material back, the waste back onto the farm. So that makes it circular regenerative agriculture system in that context. And then beyond that, you can also see it's giving you more details on the performance of the two scenarios in terms of their environmental impact, resource use efficiency, and all of that. And then we have also the detail indicators here, the soil health indicators. You can see that the scenario 2 is performing under each one of the indicators. And also when you look at the soil sampling base, this is a soil sampling base soil health score. And this is the carbon sequestration also as well. Yeah, so you can see that in each of the metrics, the scenario 2 with the recycling system is doing better than the scenario 1 without recycling. And that was expected. Yeah, so the individual assessment here, we can look a little bit deeper. So this is a single assessment. And when you look at the circularity results, here you can see the circularity inflow score and then the circularity outflow. The inflow is how much organic material you are bringing to the farm. And then the outflow is how much organic material you are making effort to return to the farm. When it's leaving, like the waste from your yield, your residue, how do you bring it back to the farm? And you can see under each of the categories that influence each of these, the score to them. And then you see the revenue here is giving us the revenue associated to the circularity aspect of the farm. Yeah, so here you see that out of the 1,859,919 919 is associated to the circularity revenue that you get. So when we look also, you see the carbon sequestration metrics here, and then that amazing is the AI tool gives you recommendation on how to improve on your performance as well. And you can see here, it says that the economic viability is a low performing, and the recommendation is that you implement precision agriculture to reduce input cost and also explore market opportunities for value addition products, and then participate in local farmers markets and things like that. Yeah, so the AI also give you a recommendation on how to improve. It doesn't just give you the results, but it gives you a recommendation on how to improve. Let's look at the scenario number 2, and then we go for questions. Yeah, so the scenario number 2, individually, we can see, as we mentioned earlier, this farm is being, the platform has been able to classify this farm as a circular regenerative, as we see from the scenario. That was clear that it is. And then you see the principles here, the performance, and you see the waste management is very strong here, which is why it is that. And then you also see the performance on the CAI, the environmental and social impact as well. And you see also here, you see that in this case, the waste management, this is waste byproduct return on the farm is 100% because they return that byproduct to the farm. And then the residue management was also 100%. Soil amendment was 100% because it was basically organic sources of fertilizer they use. And the revenue associated to this farm is, in terms of circularity, is over $1 million, 1.2 million. Out of the 1.8 million. And what we have to say is that this value could be higher because we did not factor in the additional value that they could be getting from having a circular regenerative farm. And we didn't also factor in the additional value they could be getting from carbon sequestration, as Kende was mentioning as well. So if those values are added, the value, if those benefits are added, the value could be higher in this context.